As the sun sets, this world turns 500 days old, and there is a story to be told of the world that is 500 days old. And we're going to tell you that story today. It's a wonderful, wonderful story of the world that is 500 days old. In the form of World Tour. World Tour! This world is now 500 days old, and I built some of my favorite things. Let me show you around. Don't worry, we also have another build plan today. Hey, I'm Quipz. I like building things in Minecraft, and have been making videos for 2 months now. I have no plans in stopping anytime soon, since I'm having so much fun making these videos and responding to your comments. This is where it all started, at least this time. I recorded my first video multiple times before settling on the final one. I was scared it just wasn't going to be entertaining enough, or that I just wasn't happy with the world in general. So after days of searching on Chunk Base and finding a place that I thought I would want to start in and recording the first segments, it just didn't really work out. Eventually, I spawned here. I choppity chop, chip chop chippity, and grabbed some wood. Started blocky game as you would. Instead of letting fear win, I eventually just hit the upload button, and it gave me something to work off of. So now looking back, that first video sucked. It was horrible, but that's okay because I've definitely grown as a creator within the last 2 months. The bright spot from that first video was our starter house, which is getting invaded currently. It was the beginning of our Oasis village, and it set the tone for me creatively. Of course you're in here. Horse. Straggler. It's one of my only finished interiors in this world. So I'm super happy about that. The fun little details that we went over in episode 4. If you want to see more of that, check that one out. This here is the greenhouse. Very cozy place. And its main purpose was to get me some wheat. It's a little wheat farm inside. It's very cozy. It's technically an interior, although it's really just a farm, because the other door in here, this is storage and ugly interior. I built this because I wanted to do some tree and oasis building, and I needed the wheat for packed mud and packed mud bricks. And if you look at the block palette of all the trees in the area, packed mud, it's everywhere. Even the pathways now, packed mud. I'm switching. Oh, I gotta switch out this path for the packed mud path. I just think it looks better. That's a future Quipz problem. I'm super happy with how this greenhouse turned out, but sadly it can't keep up with my wheat requirements anymore. So we'll get to my solution for that in a little bit. Oh, and there's this thing too. I don't even know what this thing is. I called it my Monstrosity. It's kind of a nerd name, but hey, look, we got a moss farm underneath in here. My other name for this build is the Crunchy Cookie. Why? Because this interior is just complex. It's a tough cookie to crack, and I just couldn't figure it out. It's also because I enjoy eating crunchy cookies, and none of that chewy stuff in here. Gotta sleep. Remember how I said you'll see my solution for the wheat? Well, it's just down here, past the moss farm. This is my pumpkin and melon and wheat area over here. And this is specifically to keep up with all my villager trading needs, all my wheat for packed mud needs, because there's a lot of packed mud over here too. And it's really just here so that it's loaded while I'm working in this area, because I spend most of my time over here, up top, doing stuff. Just past our mossy monstrosity, and currently behind me, we have the entrance to our Oasis City, and all the signs just popped up. At this point, it's just an entranceway, but I'm sure with a bunch of ideas from you guys and some more creative energy put into it, we will have a bustling desert metropolis. Now, I've been trying not to rely too heavily on reference photos to flesh out my style, but I did use one quite a bit for this build over here. I'll put it up on screen now so you can see. And It was really an exercise to take something from a photo and expand off of it. And that's what I really did. I wanted to take all the original inspiration and build outward from it, like expanding the edges of an idea until it became more of my own. I think I did a pretty good job fitting the vibe with this other side, matching the reference. But I also think I strayed enough from the idea to make it my own and add cool little pieces to it. One last thing before we move on. Look at this cool cliff. Look at it. We got a nice bridge, nice little cliff face. It's super pretty. We have all the particles. Nice little grassiness. I just think this is one of my favorite little places to slow down while I'm surviving in this world. I wish I brought my boat with me. Back on the other side of our village, we arrive at the Bazaar. My favorite build so far in this series. I experimented a lot with banners and contrast here. Cyan and sandstone might be my new favorite color combination, since it just pops so nicely from the sandiness. Here we set the foundations for what will later become my living storage system. Each one of these shops will house a different group of items, as well as being the home of a wide personality of different shopkeepers. I'm still fleshing it out, and I'm extremely open to ideas from you guys for shop themes, styles, and shopkeepers. So leave a comment on what you want to see. So that about wraps it up for the village of Mirage. Yes, Mirage. For those of you who have been here, I've only ever called it my Oasis Village. The Oasis Village. But I think we finally settled on an interesting name. Let me know what you think in the comments. Quickly, before we start our next build, we're gonna go head over to B-Site. What is B-Site exactly? This is where Minecraft sins happen. Dirt walls, unorganized chests, random remnants of collecting blocks, and way too many villagers packed into one area. We are finally going to be working on making this area pretty. And a lot of that's going to start with a Gravity Falls inspired mountaintop log cabin village. Wow, that's a mouthful. It's a lot to get out. I want to start fleshing out this mountain, fill out this wireframe a little bit, and then we could plop in our Gravity Falls inspired log cabin mountain village. Wow, that is still such a mouthful. I'm going to go gather some resources and we'll get into placing stuff. So while I'm placing these blocks, I just want to talk about where I've been. It's been maybe like 3 weeks since I made a video. It's been a little bit. So I took a trip. I went to Colorado. I visited Colorado Springs area for the first time. It was beautiful. I had a lot of fun. I went to like Garden of the Gods. I did some hiking, got some really nice pictures. So I had a really great time. I then came back. I had a friend visiting, so spent some time with them. And overall, had a great couple of weeks. And then getting back into this project was a little tough. I had done the entire like world tour portion of the video, and I kept growing the scope of what I was trying to get done in the later half of the video. So you could see this whole mountain area. I kept adding and adding past this time lapse in between recording it and trying to finish the edit and everything. So the build, I need a lot of stuff, and trying to figure out what to do in the time while I was waiting for 103 beehives was very tough for me. So trying to figure that out, getting a little burnt out from doing that. I did a lot of digging, and it took a lot out of me. So I needed a little bit of time to refresh, to get back on track, and now I'm finishing up this video. So I really appreciate the waiting. If you guys had waited for this video, if you're new, welcome. I'm gonna try to be more consistent with my uploads. I just needed the motivation to get this one finished. So now we're back to the regularly scheduled video time. Let's go. This is kind of where I left off before I went on my trip. I did a little bit more block placing. Let's go into Cheaty Flying Head Cam over here. This is our mountain so far. I still have this hole to fill in, but I wanted to get the build plop down first because we're going to be coming back here in the next episode and doing a bit more terrain stuff with trees. We want to get a lot of trees placed down, and I want to figure out what the back side of this mountain is going to look like. So it's very slopey at this point in time. I want to do some rocks, get some boulders, figure out how to make them look like they're falling down. I think Mumbo did a pretty good video on terraforming stuff recently. So I'm going to take some inspiration from that, figure out how to make this look a little bit more natural. But yeah, we're getting into a pretty good spot. I want to do the build now. So we're going to be building our Gravity Falls inspired log cabin village that I still can't get out of my mouth pretty easily. So that's going to be our big build today. And then we're going to wrap it up. I know it's been a very long time between uploads, but this is still going to probably end up being a shorter video until I figure out a better formula for making them a little bit longer. So let's get up here. And we're going to start this build. I have gathered most of the resources, most of the materials, and they're in these chests. There's a lot of signs. A lot of signs. We need signs. I'll tell you why we need signs, but here's the rest of the stuff. I think there's more for the interior and stuff. I haven't finished the interior of the build yet in my planning, so I'm going to have to come back and do that later. But yeah, we're going to build our mystery shack. Let's hit it. Okay, we're just about finishing this build up. I have a couple more touches I gotta add, and yeah, we could analyze. I have the mystery shack signs put up over here. I have the letters in my inventory, but sticking with the cyan, I just like the color a lot. So I think it starts here. It's fine. I hope the Y is going the right. I think it is. Here is the mystery part of Mystery Shack. And SHACK. And then I gotta quickly make my way over to this side over here. And color this sign. So these are all supposed to be red. There it is. All right, we're gonna go into the cheaty flying head camera. Let's detach my face. There we go. It's almost done. Now, all I have to say is it just needs some smoke coming out of the chimney to make it feel a little bit more alive. Obviously, the terrain's gonna change once I add trees. I'm gonna add some other stuff, but this is just a little canvas to build off of. Let's add the smoke. Let's add the smoke. I feel so stupid, guys. So stupid. Because I recorded a video of myself placing all the smoke. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I guess it didn't save properly. I don't know. But here's the smoke. Here it is. I took a lot of inspiration from Good Times with Scar. Great dude. Mumbo Jumbo, another great dude. I don't know them. I watched their videos though, they're pretty cool. So I'll detach my face, we can take a nicer look. And the big thing with this is the glass panes and the glass blocks to create a gradient to go from gray to white to show the smoke's getting lighter and lighter as it gets further away from the chimney. And I think we did a really good job with this. Very nice job. I'm just so mad I didn't get it on Camry. Let's go inside. I also did the interior. I have the video for that, but I think I'm just going to glance over it and we're going to wrap it up here. This is the interior of one of the 3 rooms, because these 2 I just can't figure out quite yet. So here we have our support book. This is where like comment of the days are going to be and some shout outs, just to show the community that I'm like taking your feedback, and I appreciate everybody who takes the time to leave a comment for me. But ultimately, I'm pretty happy with this build. I'm not super happy with how long it took me to get this episode out, but that's okay. Here is the Mystery Shack. There's the rest of the world, and it's Quipz signing off. Thank you for watching the 500-day world tour. I can't believe it's been 500 days. I feel like I should have gotten a lot more done. But as we look over the horizon and see that cool build, that's where I'm going to leave y'all. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the Quipz side. Peace out.